So, I met my wife, Jackie, when we were both in law school in New York City. And back then, I would have done anything to make her happy. I mean, that was true even after she agreed to have sex with me. Let me put it this way. During exams, when I knew she had been exhausted from studying, I used to sneak into her apartment when I knew she was sleeping. Okay, wait, I know that sounds really creepy. Like the beginning of a restraining order or half the movies on Lifetime. But I would sneak into her apartment and I would leave her study care packages, snacks, fresh bag of gourmet coffee, and most importantly, fresh pack of Marlboro Lights. Later on, when we were preparing to interview for jobs, I even agreed to go to the mall and help her pick out suits for job interviews. I know that doesn't sound like that big a deal, but I need to mention it was an outlet mall, and it was a Memorial Day sale. Just imagine the first 20 minutes of Saving Private Ryan in suburban New Jersey. But all that pales into comparison to what she was willing to do for me. Now, before I go any further, I should explain something about myself. I am originally from the happiest place on earth. That's right, I'm from Detroit. Glad you're familiar with our work. You know, Detroit doesn't have many things. Doesn't have, right now, money, or sunlight, or people. But one thing we do have is a love of hockey. And for over 85 years, we have been blessed with the Detroit Red Wings. I am a huge Red Wings fan, and June 1998 was a very auspicious time. The Red Wings were in the NHL Finals, trying to win back-to-back Stanley Cups. It was also my birthday, the first one I would be sharing with Jackie. And she asked me, she said, "What can I get you for your birthday? What do you really want?" And I said, immediately said, "I want a new Red Wings jersey." And she said, "Okay." I'm not sure if she was horrified by the thought that her boyfriend desperately wanted a piece of clothing made entirely of polyester, or worse, that this indicated what I thought would be an appropriate gift for her birthday. But either way, she bravely accepted this difficult challenge. Now, I know some of you here tonight are thinking, difficult? How difficult could that be? You, like, go online and order it. Silly millennial. Sit back and let Grandpa Generation X tell you a story of an era long, long ago, a time known as the 1990s, when the internet sounded like swong, 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 beach ball, beach ball, beach ball, beach ball, beach ball, beach ball. That's right, Jackie had to go out to actual stores. I know New York City is world famous for its shopping, Macy's, Bloomingdale's. But New York is also famous and arguably even prouder of the reputation of having the most obnoxious sports fans in the world. This is a city that believes there are only two teams. The Yankees and everybody else who fucking sucks. Somewhere in this population, though, Jackie was able to find me this jersey. A garment I intend to be buried in, since I was not allowed to get married in it. I was specifically informed that if I wore it to the wedding, I would be the only one there. But she gave me the jersey on my birthday, which was perfect because that same night, the Red Wings won the Stanley Cup. She even surprised me with a whole feast of Detroit food. She had Coney Island hot dogs, Detroit Little Caesars pizza, a 6-pack of Bell's beer, and Werner's ginger ale. And for dessert, Mackinac Island fudge. She even stayed and watched the game and pretended to be interested. Soon after that, I proposed. Because if you think I'm letting a woman like that get away, you're crazy. A few years after we had been married, things began to change, as they often do. Now, people say stuff like, "Oh, the honeymoon's over, the magic's gone." But in reality, when you've been married a little while, you realize something. You realize that marriage is about getting shit done. Let me put it this way. My wife knows that if it was ever necessary, I would gladly give my life for her. And I know that if it ever came down to that, she would probably want me to go to Costco first. June 2002. Again, it's my birthday, and again, the Red Wings are in the Stanley Cup Finals. But this time, there was no New Jersey, there was no Feast of Detroit food. I didn't even get to watch that many of the games. Why? Because that week, we were in the process of moving into our first house. It was just me, Jackie, and 2 movers who I'm pretty sure just broke out of prison. But as anyone can tell you, if a cross-town move is the biggest shit you had to deal with in your marriage, then you should count yourself very lucky. Jackie and I have been together for over 16 years, and in that time we've had to deal with financial difficulties, unemployment, the deaths of parents, and disabling disease. But soon after we were married, Jackie was diagnosed with a chronic pain condition. Some days she would tell me the pain was at 8 or 9, and she would put on a brave face and ask me to help her ignore the pain. Those were the good days. On the bad days, she wouldn't be able to get out of bed and would need my help just to go down the hall to the bathroom. But she would apologize as if she had done something wrong, or thank me as if I was the one doing something remarkable. This time pushed us to become a better couple. We learned to communicate more, but most importantly, we learned to really trust each other. We grew stronger and we survived. But as anybody can tell you, there is a huge difference between surviving and being happy. And that's something I forgot until 2009, when something happened, something wonderful. The Red Wings were back in the Stanley Cup Finals. There's more. I'm sitting watching one of the games one night when Jackie calls to me from upstairs. She says, "I have a surprise for you in the bedroom." All right. I mean, it is my birthday. And there on the bed is absolute, undeniable proof that I have the greatest wife ever. And I know the single guys here tonight are thinking, 3-way? And the guys with kids are thinking, she let you take a nap? There on the bed are 2 tickets to Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals. Not only that, these were front row freaking seats. I don't know how she paid for these tickets. I don't want to know. I half expect any day, one day, there will be a knock at our door, and there will be Robert Redford come to collect one night with my wife. And if that happens, I'll turn to Jackie and I'll say, "Honey, your ride's here." But not only is my wife willing to possibly sacrifice herself to take me to this game, she is also willing to travel to a dark and dangerous place. That's right, the game was in Pittsburgh. And yes, even people from Detroit make fun of Pittsburgh. It was a great game, but sometimes even the most fervent birthday wishes are crushed under the skates of pure evil, also known as Sidney Crosby and the Pittsburgh Penguins. But the thing I'll remember most about it is at one point, Detroit had tied the score, and I was so excited. I was cheering my head off. And I look, and I see Jackie, and she has tears in her eyes. And she just says, "You don't know what it means to me to see you this happy." And in that moment, I realized something I know I can never forget. That yeah, marriage is about getting shit done, but the most important shit you got to get done is to make each other happy. In the years since then, we've had to face some major challenges, some of them even greater than the ones we had to face before. But we've also gotten to share truly wonderful moments. Yes, there have been trips to Vegas and Hawaii, but more importantly, there have been countless evenings with marathon Scrabble games in front of the fire, thousands of hours with nothing but DiGiorno and whatever TiVo thinks we should watch, and the occasional Caps game. Because yes, I've succeeded in turning my wife into a hockey fan. And sometimes when we're at the Verizon Center, she'll take my hand in hers, she'll look in my eyes, and she'll just kind of whisper, "You know, honey, these seats kind of suck." Thank you.